Welcome back to the video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make a base and how to make every single region and where to put it on your base, and basically you all will know how to make a base and how all these different regions and everything else works down the line. So first I'm going to start off right here, and then I'll work my down the line. I'll show you how to make it after I show you what the region does, where to put it basically, and then I'll also be releasing my cannon. And then make sure you guys check out the video I'm going to be posting on June 7th. I think that's a Friday. I would really appreciate if you guys did watch the video on the 7th, so that will be coming out then. And then if you also know anyone who doesn't know how to make a base or needs a cannon or anything like that, just link them to this video because it'll probably be pretty helpful. Also, if you do buy anything on the CosmicPvP shop on any planet or anything like that, make sure you guys use code CLONE. I'll have it up on the screen right now, but I would really appreciate it for me taking all this time to show you guys how to do all this crap. Alright, so let's get into it. So the first thing is going to be a regen the region with a thing in front. So I don't have the watering set up properly in this one, but I'll do it for when I gen them in. Alright, so basically what you want to do with these ones are, these are the minechat regions. I don't have them actually turned into regions right now, which are similar to this one, but these ones just prevent backstacking or make it harder because you have to backstack right here, and you'd have to backstack all the way out, so it would make backstacking a lot harder. So what I like to do is basically go from these to these, just sort of switching off, but I'll show you that in a second. I'll show you the design I'm going to do for that later, but right now I'm going to show you guys how to make it. So there's probably other ways of making it, but it's going to be the exact, well actually it won't be the exact same, but it'll be pretty close in both of them. So what you would do is, let me break this down a little bit. You'd go like this, and you do this around anywhere you want to actually make the region, so it'd be like that, but I'm not going to show you everything like that. Crap. Something like that. But I'm just going to do these two for now, just because I don't want them overlapping. So what you do right now is you put lava underneath them, like that, and then you'd want to catch the lava. I think that's how the pattern, yeah, there we go. Like this. Alright, perfect. And then to gen them in, the way I like to do it, well, you don't have to put on these two blocks. Normally I just put on those two blocks right there, and it gens everything in. And then I go back through while it's genning in, and go like this, just to make it up to the limit. So you'd want to have these blocks on 255, and then you put these right here. And also, something I like to do, if this is not underneath the obby cap, so the obby cap will be over it. I'll show you how to do the obby cap a little bit later, but for right now, I'm just going to act like these ones are not under the obby cap, so you guys can do that. So first, what I like to do is do this. You don't have to do this. This is just the thing that I like to do. And then it makes it 256. So this should be at 255 when you stand out, 256, but obviously I'm not doing it as high right now. And then you break this, get rid of the water, go like this, and then you would come up here with the dry bucket, and you pick up all the lava, just like this. And then one thing you need to do is come back down here. Technically you don't have to do these blocks, but you gotta make these ones obby right here. So that should be obby like that. And then the way you would want to water this is, so let's say this is 256 right here. You'd put the blocks, well, I would say like this. It would be one block lower if you had it at 255. So this is the way you do it the most efficiently. You'd go like this, and then it flows like that perfectly, just so it doesn't get all messy. Like that, and then you do the same right here. This one doesn't matter because it was already out like that, but you get the point. I don't have to really show you in the next one. I'll just show you the setup, but it'd be like this, and then you have to break these two front blocks first, then break the back ones, and the water doesn't flow. And this way, oops, it's like that. Wait for it to flow, then you break the block. Like that. And the reason why you do this is just so you can have other stuff around it without the water flowing around and impeding on the other builds. So I guess I forgot to put a slab there, but you get the point. That's a minechat region made properly, and we'll move on to this one right here. So this is basically the same setup, but the way you'd want to do it is a little bit different. So let me just block this water up with some slabs so it doesn't mess up the genning of the next region. Okay. We'll just line it up with this one, I guess. Alright, so we have this right here. Alright. So basically with these, what I like to do to make this is wrap around like this and make a line like this. And then what I do is normally go around and place this every 2 blocks. And then go like this, right? But for this one, all you need is these 2 blocks right here. Because you're not going to actually gen in this front thing. So wait for this to go down. This is probably the worst part, is slabbing everything. But making a base is a pain. I'm always the one who has to gen in all the regions and like that in my base because no one knows how to do it. So you do like this the same way. Boom, boom, boom. Wait for it to go down. You just place the lava like this because it's at 256, remember. And if it's underneath the obby, I'll show you how to do that in a second. So let's say your obby cap's right here. And you can do this for anything you want. I'll just go like this. And so for these ones, you could just put it on the roof like that. Well, I guess it'd be like this. And then you gen in this exact same way. Oh, I guess I didn't let it all gen down. Oh well. But then that's basically the way you do like that. Underneath the obby cap. And for the anti-1x1s, you're going to have to drop it down a block. I'll show that in a second. But let's just remove that lava for now. You get the point. And then these ones, you're going to water it the exact same way you did with this one. But I like to put the obby block like this in. And if it's underneath your regens, then you just put slabs right there. This one you'd put make it just like this with the obby in front of it. Or cobblestone if it's at 255. And then you'd fill these ones up right. Okay, well. You'd fill these ones up right here. And then you just put lava right here. And then you'd also have to remove these slabs. Place it with obby. The obby just helps it for a different type of raiding. So normally when people raid these, they can just straight line it by basically stacking in here. And then normally people could just seg them, but you could nuke them as well. The bottom blocks right here, but if they're obby, you can't seg them. So it makes them so they have to actually use a better cannon. So most people don't have that. So that's a good defense to have. It's pretty easy to do as well. Okay, so now for the anti-1x1s. I'm going to show you how you do them if they're underneath the obby cap. And then one not underneath the obby cap. The way I like to do it, I'll show you right now. So I'll outline something right here. This is the regen. Like this. And then you got this part. Actually, we'll go this to signify that it's this kind because you don't want these underneath your obby cap like this. This is normally what I like to do in the front of my walls. This is closer to the base because people are more likely just to shoot through it normally with these ones right here, which means they have to break these blocks. So yeah. And then what you want to do is a lava curtain in between. So on these ones right here, every time it's behind it, you want a lava curtain. Just remember that. So every time you have these anti-1x1s, you want a lava curtain. So I'll go and just bring it over like this for now, just to show you. And then normally you'd have the obby cap. What's the obby caps right here? You'd have this touching it, or if it's not under the obby cap, you just want to make sure it's one block like this. And then I should make this extended out a little bit just to show you. Boom. And if it's not on the obby cap, you just do the exact same thing. So if you're trying to do the lava wall underneath your obby cap, it's really, really easy. You just go like this, underneath it, and then it just makes the 3 blocks like that. So that's really, really, really simple. Just make sure you go around and slab underneath it and crap like that. You don't want all this freaking lava leaking everywhere. And then on the front side, you just want a 1 block gap. And let's say this is not underneath the obby cap. So for the demonstration, I'll put it right here. Alright, this is the ideal distance, I would say. So let's get some wool here just so I can show it a little bit easier. Right here. So you'd obviously have it watered like this. And then this one, the water's going to be like this. So then you can have a slab layer right here just to basically cut them off. and make everything super clean. So these are the anti-1x1s. I'll show you how to make them in a second. I'll show you what they do as well. And then behind this, you'd have the regen, and you just basically keep repeating the process. So you go regen, anti-1x1 regen. I mean, you don't have to do this. You can just have a whole bunch of regens and walls. This is the way I did it. This is the way I've done it, and last season, my walls didn't get scratched at all. Season before that, we didn't get raided until we quit, and then they had like 2 weeks of us. Basically, they could just raid for 2 weeks straight because we weren't even on. No one was checking the walls. We all quit. So that's the one time we got raided there when no one was even playing. And then, okay, that's the last time I remember we got raided. But I think we got raided one time on Dragon when I was on vacation. But that's about it. So these defenses definitely work very, very good. So these are the anti-1x1s. The point of these is you can't break it right here. So you have to break it right here. But people can do the same technique where they stack. And then basically they stack sand right here. And then they use that to slide it over and shoot right here. But putting obby like this will also help it a little bit, so they have to nuke it. But obviously they can't do that. But some cannons can't do that, and it's common for cannons not to be able to do that. So it's kind of a good defense, and it's really easy to do. So these ones are probably the worst to make, and the absolutely freaking kidney stones. Okay, the way you want to make these anti-1x1s is by making it like this. One block underneath the regen, so you don't have to put the lava like that, because these are anti-1x1s. You want the anti-1x1s one block underneath the obby cap, but when it's not underneath the obby cap, you can have it the same height as everything else. But what you want to do is make it look like this. Do three. Make sure a 3 block gap in between them, and then you're gonna want to gin them in like this. Make sure you also offset all your regens. So while that's flowing down, I'll show you what I mean. So when your regen's like this, you're gonna want the other one basically to the right or to the left. So you can make it look like this. Kind of like this, and then the next one would be like this. Obviously it wouldn't be the spacing because you want to keep the proper spacing, but I think you get that point. So it should be looking like this. For the anti-1x1, it's going to be a little bit different. Normally the way I like to set them up is looking like this. It's a little bit different way of offsetting them, but I think it works a little bit better. So in the center one, you'd go like this. So it's the first one, second one, and then right here, you'd offset to the right one. And then you'd put it to the center again. Boom. Then you'd bring it back to the right, or whatever side you pick. You can pick left or right. But I'm just picking right for this demonstration. Oh my god, my placing's terrible. Okay, so you get the point though. So every third one, so this one, 1, 2, every third one will be matching up. But this is probably the best way of making them. Normally I have a lot of these, but it doesn't matter how many you have. At least have 4. So after you have it looking like this, you're going to want to go down below here and slab it like this. Okay, then you're gonna want to come up here, put water. Oh, Jesus. Water like that. Then you wait for all this to flow down. Normally you could just put alts around your entire base and just start jetting it all in at the same time. Alright, after it looks like this, you're going to want to go around and break all the slabs. What normally I like to do for this one is just place netherrack here. You don't have to break all the slabs. You'll see which ones you have to break in a second, but normally I like to outline it in netherrack instead of slabs, just because it's easier to break. But you can do whatever you'd like. And then after that, the reason why you do that is because you want the blocks to fall down. You don't have to do that, but then you just have to manually place all the blocks at the bottom. Then you want to remove the water. Make sure you do that outlining thing again. So you can do that while it's jetting in. So when it's like this, you can just go around just like the other thing. Place the blocks around it. Remove it, the water. Okay, I should have waited a little bit longer, but then you just pick up the lava. Alright, and this is probably the most annoying part, I would say. Make sure you do it sort of a 2-block gap so it's not touching the roof, because then people can hit here, reverse up, break the obby cap, and it'll break the water flow, which is not what you want to do. So you're going to want to make it look like this, like that, on these front ones. So this is the front, so the base is back here, and they'll be shooting this way. So that's the way I'm orientating it. Like this, water, water. After it flows for a little bit, you break that block right there, break the blocks around it, and then it should be looking like this. And then you have to do the same thing right here in the back. Obviously, when it's not underneath the obby cap, you just make it the same height as the normal region, just underneath the obby cap. You don't want to do that. Do this, and then you also have to do it right here. This is probably the weirdest one, so you do it like this, so it's one block closer in. You put another block right there, goes like that, and you can get rid of all these netherrack crap. It's like I accidentally broke a block. And then what you do is you go here, place a lava bucket right there, or a piece of obby, depending on what height that is, doesn't really matter. And then for the slabbing, the way I like to do it, okay, well, I guess you can just make it look like this for your lava thing, because you're going to want to make it look like this anyways, just like that. But make it look like this, put a slab right here, so it'd be like right there, and then right there. You'd have to water right here as well, the same way you do this way. But you just make this doing a wrap. So then you'd put lava right there, and then it'll flow down perfectly, and make your little regions look just like this. So that's how you make andesite 1x1s, and it's underneath it. So then you fill it up. You don't just put lava there, you fill all the way up, so then it looks like this. You can always go like this if you want to make it look really clean. You know what I mean? Like that. So this is probably the weirdest looking thing. I normally do this always just to make it look really nice and super clean. You go like that. You'd have the lava basically like this on the roof. I'll just do it. What I'm showing it like that. And then you'd obviously have slabs on the other side, just capturing it in. And look like that. Then you have a regen right here, anti-wimbo regen, or whatever you do. You do want to do some regens, a few anti-wimbo doesn't matter. This is the way I like to do it. So that's how you do that. Now I'll show you how to make these. Now I'll show you how to make these little regen filters. So these used to be good back in the old days. There is some sort of use you could use for it now. I'll show you how to do that, but they're basically the same thing, just a little bit of different concept in each one. So the way you want to do this one is, alright, so to make these, you're going to want to put a slab down, stack up the sand on top of it, and then we'll just make it fit underneath here just because. You want to go like this, 3 blocks out, 1, 2, 3. You have another one like this, and this is the way you offset them, perfectly like that. Then you want to go around here, putting netherrack like this, and then water, 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 break that block, let it flow. Yeah, perfect. And then normally I like to go here and box in the water. You may want to practice a little bit before you actually start doing on the normal base, because it takes a little bit to learn. You're going to want to make it look like this. Break these 2 ones right here at least, and then you go like this. And then the bottom ones right here won't flow. I like to do this just for the looks, doesn't matter. After it's all ginned in like that, you would go right here, break this bottom sand, and then break that slab, and it should look just like that. So normally I like to offset this 4 ways, so I have 4 of these on my base. I like to put 2 close to the base, and then 2 towards the end of the obby cap section. So the way you offset these is you'd change the Y level up, so then you'd have one look like this, and then you'd also have it the other way, so then you'd have a set like this, and then you'd obviously offset this kind of like that, basically that's what you do. You just offset it. You guys can figure that out pretty easily. And then the way you do these ones are the exact same. So we'll just pretend it. Well, it's kind of confusing when you do like that. So we're just not going to offset it because these are all in the same line, but they're going to be different kinds. So I like to put these at the very, very, very front of the base, and then I'll show you why. So what you do here is you put blocks like this, boom, 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 like that, just like that. Oh crap. There we go. The reason why I like to put this in the very front of my base is you have to regen bust this, then you can shoot through these two, and then if you want to shoot in this block right here, you'd have to regen bust this, shoot through it, and then if you want to shoot this one again, you have to regen bust this again, and just keep switching off, so they keep shooting it multiple times. And you give two of them, you're basically going to have to shoot this every single time you want to take a shot. So they have to backstack it, or they could just regen bust it, but just wasting more shots, which is what you want to do. So let's move on to this 45s right now. We're going to need some ice for this. But these are really good if you have a sky base. Not really much of a point if you don't have a sky base. But there's two different kinds. They're basically the same thing, just face different directions. They're both really good. There's not really much more introduction about this. Most people don't know how to raid these, so it's good stopping all the noobs. So I'll show you how to make it for a sky base because there's no point in putting it on the ground. You're going to want your slabs actually made into normal slabs, so I'm going to make a little slab platform real quickly. Evo were trying to raid these, and then they got stuck on it, which is, and it was our first wall because we only had half our buffer done, and they just gave up. So it's really, really nice. Alright, so first thing I like to do is outline it. So I'm going to go like this. Crap. First thing I like to do is outline it, so I'm going to go like this. Doesn't really matter which block you use to outline it. I like to outline mine in obby. I basically just outline in cobblestone, and then I put obby over it like this to make sure it keeps the flow in. You want to do this 2 blocks out so it doesn't stir everything up. Normally you can hand place this, place water underneath it. That takes longer. This is more efficient, the way I'm going to show you, and it's also a little bit stronger. So you're going to want to outline it like this, and then you're going to want to go like this, outline it again with obby, and this is just to keep everything from flowing around. You don't have to do these 2 bottom blocks like that. So it should look like that, because everything's going to be right here. So then what you want to do, so what you're going to want to do is outline underneath it in ice, like this. And then, normally I like to still touch it in biomes, because it's pretty expensive to buy and shop. Especially early map, well maybe not on the regular planets because of dungeons, but you break it all. You don't have to place water, just I do it because you can't break ice in here and make it flow. And then you do the same thing on this block right here. And you stretch it like this. And then this one would look like this. And you got to make sure it flows. Whoops. You got to make sure it flows out, like flows all the way around and covers the entire thing in water before you break the next row. And basically you just keep doing that until it's a massive wall of water basically outlining it. I had to place all these blocks with netherrack, and I just put water underneath it just because I can't do it the right way, because if you put ice and break it, it just doesn't do anything. So basically what you do is, it should look like this. Okay, well we'll keep this block for here now, just so it doesn't spill out everywhere. Well, I guess you can remove this block, just make it look like this. Okay. So what you do is, when it looks like this, get out your lava, place it at the top, and then it would just fall down and basically gen in the entire thing. And this entire thing will be water sources, so it'll be really hard to break. And it's the same way if you do it the opposite way. So you just let all this crap flow. And that's how you basically make 45s. Alright, so you guys might be thinking these are normal walls, but these are actually regens. And basically what these are OG sort of regens. I like to put them close to my walls just because it throws people off when they're trying to raid, because they won't expect a regen when it looks like a normal wall. So I suggest you maybe throw some of these in. It could trick your raiders, make them have to regen bust and basically just get stuck because they think they're going to be in. They all got to run back to the cannon, start patching, well not patching, but start changing the cannon up and do it quickly because they're at the edge of the wall. So maybe you have 2 of these like this and then offset. So basically what you want to do is make a normal wall. So let's see, go like this. And you're making a wall. I'll show you in a second here after this flows. Alright, after it's all done like this, obviously you just have it watered. This is just to show you. There's other ways of making walls, but I'm trying to show you pretty quickly the way you want to make these little regions. So it looks like this, and then obviously you don't want these little side blocks. It should be blocks around the entire thing, but you'll get the picture in a second here. Wait for the script to flow down. Alright, after it's ginned in, pick up all the water, obviously. Make sure it goes down, then break those blocks. Pick up these lava sources. Oh, no, wait for this crap to flow down. Okay, so what you want to do is place a row of lava like this, then skip a block, row of lava, skip a block. And normally I like to do this twice, so then the next wall you would just basically make it the exact opposite. And then you skip a block. And then you'd obviously want to water it like this. Not just putting it on top, but you'd, well, I guess you could water it like this. But it's a wall, so you basically just don't want the water touching the actual wall. That's basically the, you never want to put water on a lava source, because that just makes it so you can break it without even regen busting. So then you go like this, you look at this, and it's a regen wall. So obviously some cannons like cubics can bypass this pretty easily, but if there's two of them, there's always going to be a spot you have to shoot. But yeah, so these ones, this row always regen. So that's another tip I have for you. So these are all the regions that are useful and that you should use, and basically how you'd set them up and offset them. So we're moving on to the check walls. Alright, this is the sand check box, only made for bedrock bases at the very edge of your walls. So if you're defending, it's at the end of your walls. If you're raiding, it's at the start. But you can basically just put both of these on one wall because you want to offset. So you don't want only one of them, you don't have both of these. And you could have multiple of these. So I'd probably say different lampposts. I mean, you could, well, basically what we did was we had the it wrap around like this. Our base is also pretty small. Blocks here, and then it'd go like this to the lamp. Let's say that's the lamp, and then you have the exact same, I'd have a 3-block gap, F warp right here, and then you'd have like this. Basically the same thing. You get the point. And you have the torch behind it. So that's the way I did on my base. Bigger bases can't do it that way, they have to do a different way. But basically the point of this, if you break the sand, it will break the repeater, turn off the lamp. There's ways of bypassing this, and I think it may be bannable, but we'll move on to the next way. This is another checkbox. So this one's pretty good. We had this one just because we didn't have a bedrock base. But basically the point of this is, so redstone torch right here. And then it should look like that. Okay, well, I'm gonna go like this for a second here, just so I can get out. Alright, so basically what the point here is, after they shoot right here and slab bust, it will break blocks right here, and water will flow in, and then basically get rid of the redstone, turn it off, or if they break here and stack in here, it should also make water flow around it and break it. So then you can have it the same setup, and you can have multiple of these. Basically, to have more of these, I guess, if you want multiple of these, doesn't really matter. Just check boxes, so it's good for checking your walls. Okay, so you make your first floor, and then you'd cover it in water like this, and then you would put a layer of ice. So it won't work. It won't work for me right now because if you break it, it doesn't turn to water. But normally you go like this, you break it and it turns to water. But I can't do it like that, so I'm just going to put water right here for now, just to get the point. Then you'd have a thing above it, which is where you put your lava. So at the top of your floors, like this. Normally I turn this into a floor up top, so it's all used. Doesn't matter the way you do it. You could do it this way as well. But you get the point. Then you just put lava like this on top of it. Obviously, you're going to want this part closed off. Like, for us, we made it like this. At the very edge of your wall, so this does all of it at once. After you get it all planned out. It just takes a lot of planning. And it turns this entire thing into a floor, but obviously it's going to start spilling everywhere out and look really nasty because I didn't set up the thing around it. But it should look like this. Then you're going to want to remove all this crap. Oh, I guess I didn't finish placing the lava. Oh well, you get the point. Remove all this lava right here. And then you just keep doing that up. As you can see, 2 floors. And obviously this part looks so weird because I did it late. But you get the point. It wouldn't be messy if you actually made the outline around it. And then the last thing are walls and regular things that aren't regens. So for normal walls, you're going to want to have cuts like this. Basically every other block like that. Well, not every other block, but basically you're going to want to do it like this. Maybe have like 5-10 blocks. This is just every 5 or 10 blocks you have a little, basically a slice in it. This is to stop L nuking, cross nuking, whatever you want to call it, nuking. Sand pillars are good. I like to only have them at the very front of our base because, well, any pillars in general you want to have at the front of your base, or I should say basically at the very start where the raiders would shoot at, and the very end where the defenders would be defending at. That makes more sense. These are just cobblestone pillars. You can gen these in. And then these, maybe, I used to use these, but now with cubics and fusions and other things like that, these aren't really that useful. But if you are going to make it, make sure you water the top, like above it, and then you make this all underwater, so then underneath here is watered, because right now it's not watered. But if you put a water source above it, then made these, then everything would be watered. So that's the way you'd want to do it. And remember, I like to have 3, and that's the way you'd want to offset them. But yeah, so now I'll show you guys my cannon and the download link and how to use it. Alright, here is my cannon. So in the link, I think it cuts off this one block right here. So in the schematic, it cuts off this one block. So make sure you guys add this. I'll flow over it so you guys know what to add right here. But it's basically, it cuts off these 2 dispensers right here. So you make sure this one's facing out like this, and then this one right here is facing down like that. And then you want a row of redstone like this right there as well. Boom, 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 boom. 1 tick on this one, no ticks in this one, and it connects like this. So this is the link. Also, don't forget to do the stuff underneath it. Looks like this. Make sure you have these 2 slabs. So you have the sponge there, the slab there, and then you guys should know how to water. If you don't know how to water a cannon, then you probably shouldn't be using the cannon. But I'll fly through it just so you get the basic picture of how to water it and set it up, so you can copy the water format. You just don't want any of it breaking these redstone. Make sure you place this redstone. Another one that's commonly missed is these 2 down there. 2 slabs there as well. I use this cannon basically the entire time I played. Well, not the entire time I played, but the entire recent time I played. So since I made this cannon, and it's worked every single time. It's really, really nice. Here's the barrel right here. Shoots out of right here. Hits right there. Slides over. And you can just fix like this. It goes probably about, I don't know, maybe 10 chunks. That way you can change the barrel. This is the power hammer. This is the, I guess you don't need this much right here, but this is just the pseudo nuke. So you don't really need the pseudo nuke. This is the pseudo nuke, and it's really, really small because it's very compact and want to make extra space and basically just make the cannon any bigger than it already is. It is a cubic. It only shoots north and south, but there is a way you can make it shoot east and west. Break this block. It'll go like this to, I guess it's here. Yeah, I think it's like 103 blocks. 103 blocks it hits here, and then it shoots east and west. So you can break this like that, and then it'll shoot way out here. This is what we did to Evo. and they thought we're shooting at their blazes. They didn't know that cannons could do this, which is kind of sad, but yeah, so then it shoots like this, boom, boom, boom. But if you're just shooting it north and south, you put this here, shoots north and south. Now I'll show you basically how you'd shoot it. So you want to have that on for regen busting. That obviously should almost always be on. You want to make sure your pseudo nuke is off. Over here, make sure your scatter is off. This is the bypass against regular filters, so you just almost always want this off unless you know what you're doing with it. This on, all this crap on, this on, and then that should be good to go. Make sure this is off. Then you shoot that regen busts, and then if you're breaking normal walls, obviously you're going to want this stacked all the way up to there. Break normal walls, you're going to want to have the pseudo nuke on, that off, your scatter on, this off, that on. This is going to almost always be on. This is the, what should I say? It's the TNT for the double tap, but it also makes the scatter a little bit bigger, so you're going to want to have this on almost always. Unless you're trying to stack with no TNT, which means you'd also want this off. Also, one thing that could be commonly missed is right here, there's no, you don't even need these dispensers. You can place this with the obby, but it just looks a little weird if you do that. Also, don't forget these repeaters right here, because in Schematica, it could show that it's made when it's not. This is also sticky pistons right here. Sticky pistons here. Commonly could be forgotten is this stuff right here. I would suggest you guys to build this in Cannon Planet out of quartz, test it, make sure it doesn't blow up, and then you can switch it to a different block, which you just do by doing / replace obsidian space quartz, just to basically until you guys get used to using the cannon. And then to double tap, what you're going to want to do is obviously have this off, scatter off, this off, on, because this is the stuff that's going to be breaking it. So on. It's almost always going to be on right there unless you're not stacking the sand. I mean, unless you don't want TNT to blow up. And then you're going to want to turn it on right there. And that will double tap. At close distances of confusion, so you're going to want to have this slab here. Long distance, you don't really need it, but I like to do it just for safety reasons. You don't have to do it though. It works perfectly fine without it. But you put this here. So after you take your first shot, then you put this here for every other double tap shot. You don't need that, just close ranges at least. But yeah, that's basically a way you do it. And this is a 230 stacker. This is the hammer and hammer right here. So it's two different sides of the hammer. This right here is the hammer and the hammer, and this is the osrb TNT. Scatter is right there. I think that's about it. But yeah, hope you guys do like this video. If you guys do like it, please leave a like. It took me a long time to do and build, and I'll see you guys in the next one.